Malaysia is to set abolish capital punishment for all crimes, joining ranks with 106 other countries that have been already done so, but we have been using that as a deterrent crime since forever, especially when there are still many Malaysians support it. Today, only 58 countries that still have death penalty and just 26 actually carried out death sentences in 2017. That year, there are 993 people around the world who executed for their crime and 4 of them were in Malaysia. In 2013, the University of Oxford's Criminology Department surveyed the Malaysian public about their opinions on the death penalty. 91% said that they either support a mandatory or discretionary death penalty for murder, and the main reason was retribution. A quick scroll through the social media comments on local crime story would suggest this is still true. But let's explore some of the realities that make the death penalty problematic in Malaysia today. So, people have several arguments for keeping the death penalty. The first one is about deterrence. Malaysians assume that because when they have death penalty, people will less likely to commit crimes, but there are still many studies over the world which have shown that there is no proof that the death penalty is a great deterrent. In one study by the New York Times, over a 20-year period murder rates in United States that have death penalty were 48 to 101% higher compared to other states without it. Does that mean that removing the death penalty will stop the murders? No, but it does show that the crime prevention is more complex than these deterrent arguments allow. Sometimes the crime happens in a moment of passion where there is no thinking forward. There is also many studies on crime rates in the countries that have death penalty and countries that have abolished the death penalty, and we can see that there is really no link. Other criminal undeterred by the death penalty is the desperate criminal, a person who understands the consequence of committing a crime but is driven to do it due to pain, fear of danger, or as a means of survival. And this is the sad secret of death penalty. While we assume that it is reserved for the worst criminal, but that is not always the case in Malaysia. The majority of executions have been on the drug-related crimes. And whilst these are the serious crimes, it is not the gangland mastermind getting hanged. Malaysian representative for the Asian Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights, Emma Boon Tai Soon, state that 100% of those sentences are drug deals. The kingpin and the bosses is never get caught. The people who are likely to be executed are generally from the socio-economic background. The poorer you are, the more likely you are become a victim of the system. The more likely you are convicted, the more likely you are hanged, and the result is unfair. This is true globally. People who are sentenced to death are not the worst criminal. It is mostly linked to the access to justice, and most of the people do not have many resources that can incriminate themselves during the pretrial detentions. They are more likely to sign confessions, provide a legal aid lawyer who very often does not have the experience, the time and money to properly defend. There is also the issue of pre-interpretation during the trial because the language of the court is not their own language, and this is a huge problem. But whether the drug deals or kingpin, human rights activists and the lawyers still criticize the death penalty because it is unconstitutional.